Hi, we're Slick Cyber Systems. I'm Chris. This is Jim. Today we're going to go over top 10 IT issues that drive end users, the guys, the monkey behind the machine, and end users crazy. So top 10 reasons IT issues that drive end users crazy.
Why do I need to change my password all the time? Right?
Yeah, there's always something. No. But here we're going to go through the issues that we know that fall in that top 10 things that make end users crazy, and obviously, get everybody. Well, they get them to bite us when we have to talk to them about them.
Yeah. The bottom line is, I mean, you should be changing your password, all your passwords frequently. So when a corporation, forces a password change, usually it's quarterly, every 3 months. There's a reason why. Yeah. I mean, it's for your, it's for the company's safety, your safety. We've gone through the whole, virus thing and attacking things. So without beating it up, it is a security measure that is of utmost importance. And, there's password managers will help manage that. Single sign-on, applications if your company can afford to spend the money to do it.
If you're struggling with maintaining lots of passwords, or you're that person that has to go into lots of things, have that discussion with your IT people. They'll have the discussion business-wise to say why this person needs that, and they'll put those pieces in place for you to make sure it works.
Yeah. Password managers are wonderful. You have to remember one complex password, and then it houses the rest of them for you, in a very highly encrypted application.
Yep. So 2, why is my computer always so slow? I would say that's probably I was probably fighting for number 1.
Sure. Well, I mean, the classic scenario when a machine's running slow is typically its age, or you have the wrong machine for the job.
Correct.
So it could be a brand new machine, but if they, somebody undersized it, if you're doing CAD work and they put 16 gig of RAM in it, well, good luck with that, and a generic video card. And that may be a little bit off, but it's kind of obvious. It's a workstation, right? But, in a situation where, let's say you have a finance person and they, they're routinely opening up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spreadsheets at a clip,
and they're
large.
Not
unusual. I know what Steve does, our VP of Finance. It is probably good practice. Minimum 32 gig RAM, 64 would be very recommended, just because again of the amount of data they're pushing. So have IT make sure that it's designed properly. Don't let some manager say, well, he only needs this because my budget's not going to help you if the machine's down all the time, because you're going to lose productivity.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense trying to put someone on a machine that they can't get anything done.
Right.
And you're paying them overtime, or paying multiple people to do the job.
Frustrates them, frustrates you, frustrates IT, frustrates everyone. So.
Yeah, a couple gigs of memory can't be more expensive than the person's time you're paying per hour.
Correct.
Okay, so VPN. Why does my VPN randomly disconnect?
Usually happens when you have an unstable internet connection that you're connecting, from to your corporate environment. And unstable meaning it's up and down, or it's just flat out too slow. There is a threshold, a limit to where VPN can no longer function. There's not enough bandwidth to be able to keep the tunnel up and push your data through with it, right?
Yeah.
So, and
it is an active connection.
We've seen this on people trying to use cell services, right? And I'm not saying that you can't. It can be done, but if the signal gets weak, like right here, we don't have phenomenal, signal. We 1 to 2 bars, and it's questionable whether you could get a consistent tunnel. It may disconnect on occasion, but that's typically why that happens.
Yeah. Okay. So we did VPN. So number 4, why do I get 10 pop-ups or a number of pop-ups every morning for updates?
Because probably didn't leave your machine on the night that they were doing the IT was doing the patches. Keep your damn machine on at night.
And now you're going to pay for it with downtime.
Well, yeah, because at some point the machine's just going to restart. You're going to lose work, and it just you've got to keep that machine needs to be on 24/7. Go home at night, restart it. But restart it. Make sure it's running, so that way when it's patch time, whether it's automatic in Microsoft's world at 3 a.m. or if it's your IT department that's pushing them at whatever time they do, it's after hours. It's not while you're working. Otherwise, you wouldn't just get a pop-up. You get, okay, it's rebooting, boom, and done. You're out. So if y'all want that, we can force that to happen during the day, but that's not good business practice. So.
Number 5 is one of my favorites. Why can't I just install what I need? Well, it's not an issue of not wanting to frustrate anybody and tell them no all the time, because that's not what you want to do, is be the negative guy. But there is a use case scenario for, what do you need? And you might literally need something. I frequently get calls from users that say, I need X, Y, or Z, I need secure email, I need, sharing apps, whatever.
Bottom line is applications need to be purchased and owned by the company.
Yes.
It is the company's responsibility, ultimate responsibility, to make sure that everything is licensed properly and you're not in legal trouble.
Yeah.
Number 2, there's a cost with that.
Mm-hmm.
It costs money for software. Are there free tools out there? Yeah, there are. But chances are they're most likely not going to be on the approved IT list because they're not supported.
Correct.
Free, right?
Yep. And there may already be a tool that's in your network you don't know about.
Right. So I think your job as an end user is to create the business case, for why the company should buy that piece of software.
Tell your manager what's wrong. What is stopping you from doing your work,
right.
And
why can I do it more efficiently?
Yeah. Why do I need said tool? And again, that might already exist. You might just not be aware of it.
And then it becomes just a cost budget thing. So pretty simple.
Okay, another one. This is frustrating for some people. Why does Outlook randomly crash?
Oh, God. If Outlook is crashing random, it's either a plug-in, an add-in, whatever the hell they call them now, plug-ins, add-ins, that is unstable. So a third-party add-in that's causing a problem where Outlook is crashing. The other issue that I typically will see is people have so much email,
their inbox
and so there's a thing called an OST file that happens when you're in cached mode, so on your computer. When those mailboxes get too big, there is a limitation to that, and I'm going to say roughly it's between 30 and 50 gig, where that gigabytes, that's when it gets very unstable, and once that corrupts, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. Now you can get it back by resetting up your Outlook profile and waiting for all those messages to come filter back in again. But it's going to crash again at some point if you have that much data. So that's when you should be talking to your IT department saying, hey, my Outlook's crashing. Well, first of all, your IT department should be looking first and saying, this is too big, you need to archive. Period. So but it's a combo.
Yeah, you need to go through email or something from a certain vendor or review part numbers or something. It just means it moves over to a folder out of your inbox.
Right.
All right. So why do I lose my work every time my computer crashes? That's a frustration point right there.
It's called unsafe files.
Yep.
When you're working on your local computer, as opposed to working even on a server. I mean, you should be working off of a server. So local machine talking to a server holds the data. If you haven't saved it and the computer crashes, those changes are in a temporary file and in memory. So until you click the save button.
So those of us who can work remote, or a salesperson or a remote guy that's out doing work in the world, might have to work on your laptop. You might have to save it. You just need to make sure when you're back in the office or you're on a VPN, you backed it up. You saved it to where it needs to be, so you can retrieve the file if it poops on your machine.
Right, but just keep saving it. I mean, that's or use autosave, if that helps.
Yep.
So,
why do I keep getting locked out?
That's called failed login attempts, typically. So when you are attempting to log in and you forget that password, so let's just assume it's your computer and you come in the morning and you're trying to log in. Your IT department will have a policy in there that locks the account after so many attempts. I can't remember if it's 5 or 10 is the default.
So drink less at night and over the weekend.
Well, remember your password.
Obviously
remember your bloody password. I mean,
slow down when you're typing the password.
Yeah, watch your cap locks. Cap locks could be on, or people using the number keys and the numlocks key isn't on.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. But that's why you get locked out. I mean, there are other potential reasons. You
most
could be
common though.
They're the most common.
Frustrating
So we'll leave it at that.
So now we're at 9. Why can't I connect to the printer again?
It's a printer.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have a mind of their own. They hate IT people.
Yes.
All printers hate
Well,
IT.
they hate everyone.
They do, but they really hate IT people.
They would kind of be the cat in the network. They're very aloof and they do what they want.
Centralized printer management, centralized, drivers.
Mm-hmm.
So print server, Windows print server, for example, the drivers are installed on there, and then you attach to that, from
It's installed.
the client, right? You're installing it from the network server, so it actually goes from your PC to that server out to the printer. The chances of, if something is still happening, then you have a device problem. The printer is faulting, or it's ready time to take it out back and whoop it with the baseball bat, And but yeah, chances are, it's usually stable driver deployment. So as long as IT has a good steady, stable driver on that network print server, you're going to be good. And I'm not saying you couldn't be having issues with your local print spooler. I mean, there could be stuff going on with your own computer, but chances are
most likely though that.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're here at 10.
One more.
This is a good one. For the people who are stuck in, having to do collaborations, they have to do sales calls. Why does Teams or Zoom break right before my meeting?
Bad luck.
Yeah, pretty much. The universe hates you at that moment.
You should always be checking your mic, your camera, if camera's a necessity, prior to. Join the meeting 5 minutes early.
Yeah.
And look, you can put it on mute and keep going about your thing.
That should be your default method. You should immediately be putting it on mute.
Yeah,
not interrupting everybody.
At least get it connected and because if there is an issue, then you can at least get in touch with IT or somebody and be able to get through whatever issue may be happening. So in my opinion is that anxiety is you're coming in at the last second, you forgot to do something, or maybe you have a faulting device.
Yeah.
And
or they're warring.
Check it ahead of time.
Maybe your laptop and you have another camera, they're fighting.
Yep, just check it ahead of time and
So that's the 10 reasons that we find that drive users crazy. We're Slick Cyber Systems. You see us online at slickcybersystems.com. Telephone number?
570-215-8888.
Call us, email us, go online, send us a message through one of our other portals or comment sections. Ask a question.
Yep.
We're happy to help. We'll add you to the list. We'll maybe make it 11 issues that drive end users crazy.
There you go.
All right.
Have a good one. Thank you. If you find this content helpful, please like the video, subscribe, and share with your friends and your colleagues. Thank you.